Sometimes things just reach a point where you have to keep them simple. When you are told over and over again that you were born into sin, that you're damaged, that you're corrupted, that you're flawed, that you're broken. You're just told so many times. All you see before you is darkness. So the first thing we need to do, if we want to build up confidence and self-esteem, is to address the issue. Why am I different? Why am I the way I am? Why am I flawed? What's wrong with me? Now, if you keep going to others for answers and allow them to pollute your minds with the sacred text and the sacred writings, allow them to continue the indoctrination, pulling you deeper and deeper and deeper into their game. And it is a game. It's a game. It's a terrible game. You'll get nowhere. The only way to make this work for your benefit and have the most full and rich life you can have, full of confidence, self-esteem, meaning for you, purpose for you, is to stop playing the game and make your own way. Don't believe in this. Don't believe in that. Believe in you. Believe in you. Believe in you. Get up. Pull yourself up. And realize, look right in the mirror. Come on. Do it with me. Look right in the mirror and say, okay, I'm different. Okay, I'm not like everyone else, but I'm still here. I'm still a human being, and I have every right to be just like them. I have every right to all the opportunities and to make my own way in this world, just like they do. They're no better or worse than me, and I I'm not better or worse than them. I'm just a little different. And now that we've addressed that, so what? So what? So what? So what? Not all of us are born with an easy path in front of us. Many of us have to work very hard for everything we have. And you and I both know that. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening right now, hoping to get some pearl of wisdom that can magically change your outlook in life. But it's that magical, supernatural thinking that got you right here, right now. Stop it. Break it. Break the programming. Break the indoctrination. Break the teaching, the repetitive muscle memory that they have pounded into your brain over the years. Break it. Stop it. Now. Stop with magical thinking. Oh, if I do this, if that, it'll all magically take care of itself. No. And it's just this kind of magical thinking. And I get in trouble all the time voicing my opinion. So listen to what I'm saying. If you need proper medical care, get it. But it's this magical thinking that maybe a magic pill or a magic bean or a magic book or a magic person can heal me. Put your hands up to the television screen and be healed, my child. Be healed. I'm gonna heal you. Can I have an amen? And it's that exact thinking that brought you right here, right now. And you need to stop it. You need to start thinking critically about your position in the universe. You are a creature that can interpret the universe around them, make its own decisions, find its own destiny, live your own life, and you want to follow the teachings, follow what somebody else tells you was written down about you. You want to be controlled? You want to be manipulated? You want to be owned? Be a servant? Come to me as a slave. Come to me as a servant. This is what you want. Come to me as a child, innocent, unformed, uninformed, to be manipulated, to be controlled, to be deceived. And I ask you, is this really what you want? I know it's not. I know it's not, or you wouldn't be listening right now. You don't want to maybe admit it yet, but you're listening right now because you don't want to be controlled, manipulated, and abused anymore. You want to stand on your own 2 feet. You want to get your chin up. You want to exude confidence. You self-esteem. But we're going to work on that. We are. You and I. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to hold you accountable for your own actions. But we're going to hold society accountable for their actions. And guess what? When you start to look at the scales, it's pretty equal. You're not some evil creature born into sin, broken, pathetic, flawed, full of sin. Ooh. These are things they do to control you, manipulate you, stop you from thinking. Listen, you're flawed. Listen, you're broken. You're worthless. You are covered in dirty rags. You don't understand. You don't know. I know because I read it in the sacred scripts. You don't know. And they use this to control you, break you down. Have you ever sat and felt the pain, the anguish of somebody saying how stupid you are, how worthless you are, how dumb, you're just so dumb. God, what's wrong with you? What are you, you weirdo? Are you stupid? Yeah, it hurts. You're trying to fit in. You're trying to figure out the landscape of humanity, the flowing tidal forces of waves of human beings, all different, all unique, coming at you in every direction. The tidal force of the humanity around you is quite intoxicating. It's very, very overwhelming. It can make you feel drunk inside. It can make you feel tiny, tiny amongst the millions of people around you, the billions on this planet. In my lifetime, I've watched the population of humanity just explode. And I'm going to get to see it begin to implode. It's starting to go down now in certain places. And finally, we're getting a wake-up call. And humanity is starting to realize its actual place in the universe. I want to go back to something I said near the beginning. You are a creature of this universe that can interpret the universe around you. You can understand it. You have the ability to understand the universe around you, to be a part of it, to study it, to learn it, to accept your place is nothing more than realizing you have been given the greatest of gifts of all, time and space. You have the ability to interpret the universe above and below you. What a gift to be a creature of the universe that understands who it is. Why would you let anyone else tell you differently? Tell you that you're broken. Tell you that you were born into a world of sin and corruption, that there's nothing you could do about it, that evil is all around you, and only darkness can be put out by the light. And they'll show you the light. Oh yeah, they'll show you. And it'll cost you 10%. 10%. Their solution is to tell you about their way. Oh, their creator created everything, but he didn't create money. He didn't create money. because he needs your 10% to make the wheels on the bus go round and round. That should tell you something right there. They're full of... I tell you a much more pure answer to this equation around us. Who are we? Where do we come from? Well, you come from this world. You're a creature of this planet. You were born here just like your parents were. And we're all unique and different. The human race is an amazing thing. So diverse, so different. All of you have something to offer the world, offer humanity. Your story is unique among all the billions on the planet and all the millions that have come before you. You are unique. You are amazing. You are special in your own right. And there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so you were born different. That makes you unique. It doesn't make you different in the sense that you're bad. That there's something innately evil about you. Good and evil are things we invented to frighten the children at night. Ooh, good and evil. Spooks, ghosts, demons. Oh, they're all around you. Oh, they're going to hurt you. Oh, they're going to get you. Oh, the boogeyman's going to get you. The boogeyman's going to get you. The boogeyman is going to get you. We do it all the time, don't we? Our enemies are over there. Our enemies are all around us. Oh, people that are different are going to hurt us. They're going to harm us. They're dangerous. They're ugly. They're evil. They're corrupt. They're criminals. Being different is a way for them to separate you from others, to keep you from talking to them, keep you from learning. It's a form of control and manipulation. Getting you to be prejudiced, racist, bigoted, sexist. Think of all these words. We have so many words, so many terms based on separating ourselves from each other. So few words like love, togetherness, compassion, hope. But on the other side of the scale, we invent new ways to separate, control, manipulate, put down each other. You're bald, you're fat, you're old, you're dumb, you're poor. Anything. We measure the size of our... Almost said something bad. A man measures his worth by the square foot of his house, not by the member in his pants. I hope that I said that correctly. You have got to realize what brought you here today isn't me. This isn't about me. This is about you wanting to learn, wanting someone to tell you what you already know. You already know you're not broken. You're not evil. You're not full of sin. You're not corrupt. You're not a bad person. We all make mistakes. Even someone who does commit a crime. Okay, they committed a crime. They're brought to justice, and then they have to pay for their crime. Once they've paid for their crime, okay, they've done their due diligence. They've done their time. They have every bit of right to life as you do at that point. Why do we continue to punish each other over finite crimes? Eternal hatred, eternal damnation based on finite crimes. Get over it. We've all got things in life. We've all got problems and prejudices in our lives, myself included, and we need to get over it. We need to learn to let things go. It's not healthy to carry around anger and hate and prejudice in your heart or in your mind, because it will eventually kill you. It will eventually destroy you. You will become the thing that you despise the most. You will become corrupt, evil, hateful, angry, bigoted, sexist, misogynistic, racist. You will become all of the things that you say you despise. And you will be broken. You will be corrupted. And you will be full of sin. This concept of sin will enter your soul, your mind, your body. Because you are letting it in. You are allowing yourself to be corrupted and controlled. And then the work is done. Check that one off. That one's done. They got you right where they want you. But I think you're better than that. That's why you're here. You do want to be more confident, more self-assured, and build up your self-esteem. If you think at my age I don't have confidence issues, you get older, it's hard to move around, it's hard to be physical like you used to be. You can't do the things you used to do. And there's always somebody there to remind you that you're not pulling your weight like you used to. You take it to heart. I have faced growing old with dignity and grace. I am not the young, strong man, the hard-working man I was of my youth, and I have to learn to be a wise, strong-willed, courageous, older man now. And it's hard to come out here and talk about the things that I've talked about in these last few episodes, because I know I offend so many people, because they have been taught from a very early age that everything I'm saying is wrong. They're told and taught and beaten into doing one thing that I find quite sad and savage. They are told to obey. You will obey. You must obey. If you go back to the early part of my channel's history, I read a book called How to Obey. I was hoping the message would be more subtle than this. That if I read a children's book indoctrinating you into obeying, maybe you would see a better light. I thought back then maybe there was a way to balance magical thinking with logic and reason in the universe. But I have learned that there's no hope in that. The supernatural and magical thinking must be cast off. We must rely on logic, critical thinking, and hard work, things that are tangible, things that we can put our hands on, things that can help us every day. And we must join those around us. We can't live on an island by ourselves. We must exude the confidence and believe in ourselves and prove it to others. And if people hurt you or put you down, try to be kind in return and change their opinion. Show them that you're not the way they were taught. Show them that there's something more to you than what they thought. That you are not the creature they thought you were, and that their teachings were wrong and based on ugly stereotypes and prejudices. Convince them that there is a better way. I sometimes keep it just as simple as saying, hey, go out there and try and make a friend instead of an enemy. It's not easy. There are people in my life that just are determined to be angry individuals, selfish people. But I try so hard to make friends with those people and not an enemy. I know I get angry sometimes, and I push back when I see things in the comments and people being barbaric and hurtful. But I need people to know that they're all welcome here. We're not going to change things by pushing people away. We're only going to change things by bringing people together. Finding common ground. Finding a balance. Tipping the scales just a little bit until someone feels they're on level playing field, level ground, where they can be heard and also they'll start to listen. I'm being heard. I'll start to listen. You have to understand the people that are doing these things, and you have to bring them closer to you, get them to talk, get them to open up, and let them be heard. And in doing so, they will listen. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their faces. You can see it in their eyes when you tell them something for the very first time. They've never heard something before, and their eyes light up. The shock. If you push them too hard, they just fall back on the indoctrination, on the training, the muscle memory of, covering the ears, the eyes, and the mouth. And then they've shut off. You've lost them. And that goes for me and you both. We have to be understanding. We have to allow people the time to acclimate to the universe around them and understand their place. And for some it's a lifelong journey that they will never truly be done with. The process of learning and growing as a human being is a lifelong lesson, a lifelong school event. You never graduate. There's always something to learn and be a better person and a better steward of the life that you've been given. And you were given this life. Your parents brought you into this world like every other creature that's ever been born. And like every other creature in this world, you deserve the chance to flourish and have a full and wonderful life. Do not allow people to take that from you. And that is the most important lesson on building confidence and self-esteem, is keep your chin up, and when somebody puts you down or tries to push you around, you let them know that that's not acceptable, or you get yourself away from them, because there's nothing good that's going to come from that. And when the time is right, when cooler heads are around, maybe you can talk to that person and get them to understand they shouldn't do that. Maybe you could ask them to try to get to know you better. And maybe you could explain to them, your position, that you don't feel that that's okay to talk to you that way, to treat you that way, that you'll get more progress with each other if you don't go that route. Give them the opportunity to learn. And if they continue being a horse's butt, for lack of a better term, then ask them to leave you alone. We must try to understand that there is no magic pill. There is no magic wand someone can wave to fix these problems. Magic is the realm of fantasy and science fiction. In reality, we must solve these problems through logic and critical thinking. And for you to be more confident in this world, you have to believe in your skills, in your training, in your knowledge. And you have to believe in the skills and the training and the knowledge of those professionals, doctors, scientists that have studied and figured out how all of this works. If you're in trouble legally, you get a lawyer. If you're in trouble medically, you get a doctor. If you want to learn, you find a teacher, a professor. Then why, when it comes to basic needs of your emotional health, we vilify the therapist and mental health, and we go directly to pawning each other off, saying that there's something broken and wrong with us, and then expect a different result? It's like Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we do that. We do that over and over again. You cut your finger, you go to a doctor. If you're depressed, go to a doctor. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to a professional therapist. Talk to a doctor. Go get legal advice if you need help. If somebody is abusing you, talking to an attorney about your options, on dealing with that person might not be a bad step. Oh, won't that suck? When they find out you've talked to an attorney, you're not taking their crap anymore. Think about it. That's you being more confident. That's you getting control of your life. That's you drawing a line and saying, no more, no further. I'm done. And I'm not taking this from you anymore. And you wouldn't be here listening to me right now if you didn't have those thoughts in your mind. Why do I continue to put up with this? Why do I continue to allow someone to abuse me? Why do I allow somebody to continually put me down? I'm better than this. And we all reach this point in life separately and differently. Some people, it happens at a very young age, and some a little older, and some at a very advanced age. It doesn't mean you've failed. When you've had enough, when you've been put down enough, pushed around enough, kicked and punched enough, you'll stop it. There is a small, tiny flame inside you that comes from inside you. I want to do this. I want to show you something. There is a little tiny flame that comes from within you. It's so small. The ember is so tiny. It barely shows any light. And the darkness seems to always push it aside. Yet, there are times when it burns brightly. And you know why it does? Because you fanned the flame. You poured fuel to the fire. You did it. You did it. You poured flames and fuel together. And you got that ember burning very brightly. The anger, the hopelessness, the frustration in your heart, all pulling you down, stifling that little tiny flame. You were the one who poured gasoline on the ember and caused a burst of flame and heat and power. You did it. You've had enough. And you poured oxygen to the fire. You fed that fire the nourishment it needed, and you brought it up to a cyclone inside a raging torrent of confidence, self-esteem. You did it. Not they did it. No book did it. You did it. You have had enough. And you fed the fire. And I've got news for you. That explosive fire of confidence and rage, channeling all those negative energies and emotions into a positive, explosive force around you. It spreads out and dissipates and you feel like you're left again with an ember inside. But the part you need to remember, the part you need to focus on is that after the fire still burns. It's still burning there, deep down inside, deep down inside. And it's inside you. In every one of us. Every one of us. Man, woman, and child. We all have a right to a good life and a full life. Free of slavery, manipulation, control, and abuse. And if you're one of those people that's struggling with one of those issues right now, in one form or another, I urge you to throw it away, cast it off, separate yourself from it, fight back. You have the right. Others will hear you, others will listen. There are hotlines, helplines, police, medical, and the law to help you escape where you're at right now, to build a new life, to get away from those that would harm you and leave them far, far and away and behind you. A lot of people seem to have a hang-up with talking about these things, but how can I not talk about it with you? That's why you came here. You want to be heard, don't you? I'm going to ask you, far into this video, far into this life lesson, do you feel like you're being heard right now? Do you? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Calm your heart. Calm your mind. It's okay. You are being heard. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. The people in my audience are strong, logical, critical, tough people who don't give up, don't surrender. I tell you often to stay strong, stay safe. And I'm telling you right now, you are powerful. You are strong. You know the answers. Go out and make a good life for yourself. And don't allow anyone to put you down like that. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay not to see the world the same way. But it's not okay to tell you you're broken, that you're flawed, that you were born evil, that you were born into sin, that you're corrupted, that your clothes are like dirty rags on your body, and only through salvation can you be healed. Oh, put your hands up to the television screen. I'm only asking for 10%. 10%. I can create anything in the universe. I created it all, but I can't create money. I need yours. Stay safe. Stay strong. And don't worry. There is love in the world. There is hope. There is justice. Go out and seek those things in life and make your life full and complete. Okay? Alright. I really don't have anything else to say. So I should tell you a story. I was 29 years old, maybe 30. Maybe I was 30. And I was working in a career. And I was at the pinnacle of my field. Well respected, earning money, working all the time. And I was realizing that even at the pinnacle of where I was at, I was not able to excel, further my family's income. Basically, I had reached a pinnacle and realized that there was nowhere else to go except back and down. If I couldn't stay healthy or work all the time, there was no upward mobility. I'd reached the top of the food chain in my employment. And I was working for someone who was, to keep it simple, very controlling and manipulating. They liked having a good little bulldog like me in their back pocket, keeping the grease on the wheels of progress in the workplace. I was struggling to make ends meet. I had a wife and 2 small children at home, and we were renting a home, and it was a horrible situation. It was not a nice place to live, and it was cheap, but it was not a great place to live. And we wanted to buy a home. We were struggling so hard. And the fight between my boss and I that kind of opened my eyes was he was angry at me because I wanted to buy a house where I live right now. And he didn't want me to live there. He wanted me to live further north, closer to where he lived, because he thought where he lived was the best place in the world. Because, of course, he lives there, so it's the best place in the world. And I wanted my kids to go to a smaller school, and it was also an opportunity to buy a home that was given to me, and I had to take advantage of it. And he got very angry, and his attitude towards me changed because I just refused to listen to him on it. It was a chance for me to buy a home, but he wanted me to scuttle that deal in the hopes of some deal that literally didn't exist. And I could not understand why this person couldn't be happy for me. And the reason why was I wasn't listening. I was becoming angry at my situation, and I wanted it to be better. I wanted to own, not rent. I was unhappy with how much I was making. I wanted more money, and he knew what was going to come next. With the home came the responsibility of paying for it, and I wasn't going to stay there working for him anymore. I was going to have to get a better job, and he saw that. He saw the future quicker than I did. That it was untenable for me to stay in the job I was in and buy a home. I had to improve my life to make it work. And I was going to have to move on, and that meant he was going to lose his little meal ticket that just did all the work for him. And right around the time I was just about to do the paperwork to get the home, he laid me off. It wasn't his fault altogether. There were reasons. The job had come to an end that we were working on, and we had to go to a new, things were changing, but he was going to lay me off for a few weeks or a month to break me, so I couldn't buy that house. He may lie and say that's not true, but I know for a fact that it was. In the past, they had always found work to bridge me from one job to the next, but this time, I don't know what you're going to do. There's no work. Nobody's going to put you anywhere. We're not going to carry you over. It wasn't said that way, but it was the intention. He was going to teach me a lesson for not listening and punish me like a little petulant child. Well, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to work? What are you going to do? I don't know. I just kept saying, I don't know. And I didn't. I was like, I don't know. I can't believe you guys are doing this to me. But I didn't say anything. Last time I ever talked to him, I said, well, hey, hopefully I'll see you soon, whatever. I got to go. Talk to you later. Bye. And I went out and got in my car. I got in my car. And I told myself I quit. I quit. I am never working for that person again. I'm done. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not talking to him. I'm not working for him again. I'm done with this. That's a pretty bold thing to say in a car when you've got a wife and 2 kids and housing paperwork. You're signing a mortgage in about a week or 2. Big shot. See how this goes. I drove around to the building, I'm going to keep it vague, where a friend of mine worked, and I told him I want to work for you guys. It would be less money at first, but then it would be more money down the road after about 6 months. But it'd be pretty hard road to hoe for about 6 months. But it would be tough for me. But I told him I'll keep my head down. I'll do my job. I'll work hard. He saw the intent in my face, and he knew I'd had enough of what was going on at the other place. And he helped me. He said, okay, we'll see what we can do. And I got in temporarily at that place. I was a temporary employee buying a house, wife and 2 kids buying a house as a temporary employee. I just quit my job, but I could go back to that job, but I was working somewhere else, and I was bringing the money in. I was making less money an hour, but I was making more money because I was working more hours, if that makes sense. And no benefits, so my kids didn't have, they had like a bank for your hospitalization, so that would last like 6 months. So everything was like based on this 6-month window. And if I failed, I lost hospitalization for my kids. You know, I had a bank for that, so that was covered for 6 months. I had this temporary employment only lasted 6 months, then you had to get hired. If you didn't get hired, then they would let you go. And I bought a house, and I had to get it right in 6 months. And I did. The short version of it is, I succeeded. I succeeded because I believed in myself. I made a commitment. I knew I could trust someone. I knew the guy I went to and asked him to help me, that he would do it. I knew he would help me. because I was sincere and he trusted me. He knew I wasn't going to be a jerk. And I always feel obligated. I felt, the guy I said, was trying to manipulate and control me. I feel a sense of loyalty and obligation to him to this day because I was always a very loyal person. And even though it was bad at the end, I still feel a sense of loyalty because that person helped me. But when I was wanting to move on or build my life, they didn't see it the same way. And this person I asked for help when I was trying to buy my house, they were kind enough to see that I was ready for a change, and they helped me. And I think about that person often and how much I really do care about them. And I was very grateful for that. Very grateful. And I owe that person a debt of gratitude and loyalty. And that's my problem. I have a problem letting go of things. Even when people mistreat me, I feel a sense of obligation and loyalty as a friend because you helped me in the past. Maybe it's a flaw, or maybe it's just being a nice person. I don't know. Maybe I'll let somebody else tell me what the problem is. But anyway, the short version of the story is I worked my tail off for 6 months. I got the job. I got the house. We made it. My kids were covered. Everything was okay. I did it. And I told you 6 months. But I quit on a Friday, right? On a Tuesday, Wednesday, I was working at the new job because I never collected unemployment when that happened. I never even signed up. That's how quickly I went from one job to the next. But I need you to know one tiny thing. I told you I quit when I was in my car. I was at the top of my field. I had really good tools. I had a nice tool belt and tools and really nice set of tools to do my job, to do my craft. That weekend, I went home and I called a guy I knew, and he came to my house and I handed him all my tools. I was not going back. I was done. The day after I said to myself that I'm quitting, I gave my tools away. That takes courage. That's pretty dangerous. Maybe even a little reckless on my part. But I was done. I'm not going back. And I never did. That's the thing about abuse and control and manipulation. When you break those chains, no matter how you do it, if they're physical chains or the manacles are psychological, when you break those chains, you don't go back. There is no going back. You've got to go forward. You've got to believe in yourself, and you've got to go forward. And you've got to do it. We've all been there. I know you have too. I've gone through it. And it was hard. Oh, those 6 months were hard. I worked my ass off. But I made it. And if I can make it, you can make it. Are we clear? I've had to reinvent, restart my life at least 3 times as an adult. Big changes. And every time I've come out smiling. Oh, I got punished for it and I had to work very hard, but I made it. I made it out and I made it through. And you can too. If I can do it, if I've done it, and I have, I've reinvented myself several times in life and been successful every time. And there are times when I kind of failed, but I just kept going until something worked. I believed in myself, and I believed in these hands, and the wits I had between my big old ears, and I didn't give up till I got where I needed to go. And if I can do it, you can too. Make me proud. But most of all, be proud of yourself. Believe in yourself. Never give up. And what do I say every time? Stay safe and stay strong. Until I see you again, have a most blessed day. Have a magical, supernatural day. Because I love you guys. And in my mind, I want you to do well. And you already know I'm proud of you. Bye-bye.